Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of A Gardener's Journey Homestead. I am Barbara. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for stopping by. I am in Zone 7A in the great state of Tennessee. And so if you're in Tennessee, especially let me know that in the comments. And if you're not from Tennessee, we'd still love to know where you are and would love to know this is your first time to my channel. If you're new here, I talk about all things gardening, and it's called A Gardener's Journey because I'm just sharing my journey. I'm a relatively new gardener. This is my third year gardening, and I just share my journey, the wins, the losses, the things I'm trying on my farm, the things that work, the things that don't, and just constantly trying to be a source of inspiration and motivation for you to grow more food. So that's what I'm all about. We also go in the kitchen and cook a few things from scratch. We preserve, we do all the things, right? And so I'm glad that you're here. And in today's video, I am on a mad dash to plant some stuff before it starts raining. There has been a threat of rain all day long, and I've been awaiting and awaiting and awaiting. Still hasn't happened. But I came outside. The sun is kind of going back, even though it's not time for the sun for it to be dark. But the clouds, I'm like, okay, maybe it is going to rain. So I was like, this is the perfect opportunity. If you're a gardener, you know. It's always a good opportunity to either plant seeds, transplant some plants before a good rain, and let Mother Nature do its work. So I'm gonna go run out to the outside garden and plant some stuff really quick, and then we're gonna go behind the house and plant one of our raised beds that we've been talking about since we harvested some of the stuff back there. So I went to the nursery last week, one of my favorite nurseries locally, and they had a sale. And that's like just telling a gardener to just pull out their wallet, right? So they had buy one, get one free on all of their vegetable plants and a lot of their flowers. So I got some vegetable plants. I only got two, so I bought one. I got one free because I really don't need a lot. But I have to finish up this last row out here in the outside garden, the in-ground space. And so I bought some jalapenos, and you can see they're dry, but that's okay. I just bought them. We're gonna put them in the ground and give them some good water. And then I bought some bell peppers that I've never bought before. I've never even done them before, and these are the California Wonder. Y'all know I don't, and they already got, you know, bell peppers on them. They look raggedy just because it's been 24 hours since they had water. But that's okay. We're gonna put them in the ground. They're gonna get lots of good water, and we'll be good to go. But I bought those just because they were buy one, get one free, and it was free. So literally I got 12 plants for $5. That's a steal every day of the week. And the jalapenos, of course, will use the green bell peppers. If you've been following me, you know that I don't buy green bell peppers. I don't necessarily like green bell peppers. I like yellow, red, orange. So that's typically what I grow. I never grow green bell peppers. Now, at the end of the harvest season, when the peppers are doing their thing and we don't have enough time for them to ripen to the red, yellow, orange, do I harvest the green ones and use them? I do. I use them in chili and things like that, but it's just not my preference. But I bought these because I've heard they're a great one that produces well. And I also bought them because they were buy one, get one free, and they didn't have red, yellow, orange. And then I thought I could sell them. So that's what we did that for. So let's run out to the in-ground space and get these planted. Okay, this is the row that needs to be finished planting. You can see some green weeds sticking up. Those are the holes that don't have anything planted in them. So not only am I planting this and finishing this row because I don't like to leave any space unattended. I like, if I got space, I want to plant in it. But also with this fabric or anything that you use that's not going to be covered by the black paper, it's going to have it's going to grow weeds in those spaces. But as you see, I don't have weeds anywhere else, just in those open spaces that don't have plants. And I had to, my line is, drip line is out of the way. So anyway, I'm gonna spend my time pulling up a lot of these weeds, and then and again, they're coming up really easily because again, it hasn't been that long since they've been there. But pulling up this grass and planting, we have 6 jalapenos and then 6 what did I call those? Bell peppers, the California Wonder. So I'm just gonna time lapse this part and we're gonna get it done. So you saw my husband bringing me some compost. I had dug the holes as much as I could and placed the plants where they're supposed to go. But as I was in my wheelbarrow, I was down to the bottom and I'm like, that's not compost. I think that's just dirt. So my husband went and got me some more compost so we can finish up this part. They're already placed. So now we just gotta top dress them with compost and then water them, and we'll be good to go on this one. Okay, y'all, we got that done. So now we're in the back of the house and we're gonna plant at least one bed, if not two, of tomatoes, our second succession. So if you're new here, I did a video on succession planting. I've done a couple, but I did one video on succession planting, and I showed you the tool that I use called Seedtime to help me plan and stay organized with when I'm gonna do my successions. If you're interested in a digital, easy way to be organized about what you're going to plant in your garden and even what you're going to plant for succession and to keep you on a schedule, the link is down in my description below. It's called Seedtime. Then I also did a video where I actually showed you me doing and sowing the seeds for this second round of tomatoes. So of course I did tomatoes earlier in the year, started those seeds like the last of February, 1st of March, and that's what is in my tunnel and also in my in-ground garden. Well, now we're in the back of the house, and in the back of the house is where onions and the garlic have been growing. So I had 2 beds of garlic, 3 beds of onions and leeks. So by the time I'm shooting this video, I don't know if you have seen it yet, but by the time I'm shooting this video, I've harvested all my garlic, my 2 beds of garlic, and I've harvested 2.5 beds of onions. No, a bed and a half of onions. I still have a bed of red onions left to harvest, and then I have half a bed of leeks to harvest. But we have 1, 2, 3 beds empty. So we're gonna get started on flipping one of these beds and planting out our tomatoes in the back of the house, some succession tomatoes. And so let me turn the camera around and let me show you what I've already done, and then we're gonna pick out what we're gonna plant in this bed. So you can see this bed behind me looks rich in dirt, and I've been sweating, then I got wet with the sprayer, so I apologize for that. But you see that it's rich. It looks rich. It is. I've amended this bed. I've added a top layer of compost. I've weeded it all out. Then I added a top layer of compost to this bed. And so I have 6 varieties of tomatoes. If you've been following me, you know that we started these tomatoes together probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago, if I had to guess. And you can see they are, you know, a decent size to go ahead and get transplanted out. I have Amish paste, I have San Marzano, I have Roma, Super Sweet 100, Sun Gold, and then Chadwick Cherry. So I have 3 kinds of paste and then 3 kinds of cherry tomatoes. I did not do a second succession of the slicing tomatoes because I have plenty of those in the tunnel. So we're gonna do the paste tomatoes today. And then I also have like some leftover basil, just basil that's looking kind of I started a lot of basil seeds and they all germinated. So I had plenty of basil. I've given it away. I have plenty of it in my garden. But that's just extra. So we'll kind of interplant that. And then I have some celosia that needs to be done with as well. That was just extra left over. So we'll go ahead and start placing these paste tomatoes and see how many we can get in the bed. My spacing in my tunnel and in my in-ground space is 18 inches for the tomatoes. I normally in the past have done like 2 to 3 feet inches, but again, you don't have to do that much. That's just what I was doing. But now that I'm trying to get more with less, I may do a little bit of a closer spacing. But let's kind of lay these out and get these planted. Okay, we got the whole bed planted. We did about 24, probably a little bit more than that. Let's see. Yeah, probably about 27, 28 in this bed. My spacing got a little off, but you know what? I don't care. We're just gonna go with it. Sometimes you do that. We'll see what happens. Probably I have a little bit less than 18 inches in some spaces, but I'm not gonna worry too much about it. These are, I'm not gonna say extra, but they are extra. If all those in the tunnel and stuff do well, we should still be good to go. Sometimes, you know, as a gardener, you don't necessarily go by the book. I went by the book a lot when I first started, and I still go by the book, you know, quite a bit, but there's times that I don't. You know, they say 24 to 36 inches. I did 18 inches because I know that you can do 18 inches with tomatoes because market gardeners do it all the time. In some of this bed, I probably have a little bit less than 18 inches. So we'll just prune heavily and see what happens. If not, I'll just take a plant out and give it more space. I'm not going to worry too much about it. But we got the Romas planted, the San Marzano, and all of the Amish paste. And a lot of my seedlings, more than one seed germinated. So even though I had 24 quote unquote plants, I actually had more than that. I had probably like 30 because there were like 2 or 3 in each pot. So we just separated them and then planted them out. And I didn't, as I was planting, I was thinking about, oh, how am I going to trellis this? I think last year I did stakes in my raised beds out here. I have the T-posts left over from last year when I had cucumbers in this bed. So I could put up the cattle panel on either side, but then the tomatoes are in the middle. I'm going to have to stake them, I guess. And that's right. You know what? If I put up the panel, I won't be able to stake the ones in the middle. It'll be too hard to get to. I didn't think that through. But I can stake them. I don't have to use the panel, and that'll be fine. And the ones I kind of planted in the middle are the Roma, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think Roma is a determinate tomato, which means it's going to be more bushy. It's going to, you know, produce its fruit one time, and then it'll be done. So we'll see what happens. But that's done. The wind is blowing hard. It was blowing much harder than this. And it has all the elements of looking like it's gonna rain. So I'm wondering, like, do I just let Mother Nature handle it, or do I just go ahead and water these in? I think I'm gonna go ahead and water these in just in case it doesn't rain. I really want it to rain. Like, it would be a blessing if it rained, because my in-ground space needs water and this out here needs water. But I'm gonna go ahead and water it just in case Mother Nature decides to not rain today. But thank you guys so much for joining me. We were able to get 12 plants done in the in-ground garden. Pretty much that row is still not done. I want to be like officially done with the in-ground space, like every space planted. You know, we had the big planting party, you know, a few weeks ago, and we probably got 80 to 85% of it planted. I've done another 10%, and there's probably 5% left. If I had to guess, there are probably maybe 10 to 15 spots left to plant. So it's not a lot when you think about, you know, 60 times 7 rows out of like 400 and something. 10 to 15 is not a lot, but I know that if I don't plant something in it, the weeds are going to grow. So I want to be done with that, but I'm not done. I'm almost done. So I have a few more plants in my tunnel that I can put out there, like some basil and some flowers and things like that. And then I also started some more watermelon seeds that I can put out there once they sprout. I'm not going to worry that much about it. But thank you guys for joining me today. We were able to plant 12 plants out there and about, you know, 25-ish or so second round of tomatoes in behind the house. And so we have, you know, we'll have 4 more beds, but right now we only have 2 empty beds. So the next order of business will be to weed those beds, get those amended. And one bed will be cherry tomatoes. Another bed will be green beans. Another bed will be cucumbers when it's all said and done. And then the 5th bed is just a mixture, I think, of like peppers and things like that. And I may even do some flowers. We'll see. But that's it. We're still going. We're not done, but we're making progress every single day. Remember, do what you can when you can. If you like what you're seeing on my channel, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of this community and go on this journey with us. Remember, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. See you next time, friend.